If you've followed the BookTok community for any length of time, or browsed Pinterest for advice on what to read, then you've probably heard of book challenges, trials designed specifically to get bookworms reading new stories or more books. While these can be beneficial for your reading regiment, they can also push you to explore new types of stories, or encourage you to socialize. Many, especially those tackling the more arduous challenges on this list, will invite a sister or close friend to join them. Some will broadcast their challenge on social media, and many will vlog about their experiences afterwards, doing a quick fire of books read in a month, what they read in a week, or offering reviews. Of course, before you tackle any challenge on this list, you want to make sure you have plenty of free time. You don't have to be completely unemployed, though a vacation might be recommended for the second challenge on this list. But many of these won't be feasible if you have several commitments and little personal time. These challenges should be fun, and if you can't complete them, don't beat yourself up. We have enough reasons to berate ourselves on any given day, without setting ridiculous standards for ourselves. Instead, treat the challenge as a game. Have fun with it, because the ultimate purpose is to reignite your passion for reading, as well as help connect you with other bookworms, online or in person. Before we continue, I'm Riley, and this is Otherworldly Fiction. On this channel, I rant about books, offer my bookish opinion, and share the occasional writing advice. If any of that sounds like your cup of tea, hit the subscribe button. There are a variety of challenges for book lovers to try, and in this video, I'll be listing the 4 that I know. All require some free time, a couple more than others, but all are doable if you go in with the goal of reading more, expanding your tastes, and socializing with others. The first challenge is the monthly book bingo. This challenge is fairly self-explanatory. In each box, you'll be asked to read a book with a specific qualification. You might be asked to read a book that features a lesbian romance, a book that takes place at the beach, or a book that was written by a female author. When you satisfy a goal, you can of course fill in the according box. You don't have to fill in every box, but in order to win at bingo, you need to fill in a row. If you're in a reading slump, this can be the perfect way to not only make you read more, but to read something you might not have otherwise. Within the new options presented to you, your next favorite book could be waiting. The best place to find a monthly reading bingo is Pinterest, though there are also blogs and social media posts which provide them. For added flair, look for themed months. October can be an especially fun month, with challenges related to all things spooky. You might be asked to read a book by Stephen King, or a novel that includes vampires. December will have holiday-themed tasks, which could be especially helpful to those readers who enjoy a cozy romance. Beyond staples like Christmas, Halloween, or Valentine's, you also have those months which recognize marginalized groups. A bingo in June, for example, might focus on LGBTQ content, while the month of February, in addition to romance content, could encourage you to read books written by Black authors, or a Black female author. If you're already someone who reads voraciously, you might try filling in 2 rows, or even the whole sheet, if you have the time to kill, which brings me to my next point. At number 2, we have the 30 Books Challenge. The 30 Books Challenge is one of the most demanding on this list. In order to complete it, you must read 30 books in 1 month. This can be daunting, and it is. Though I myself devour books, my record for most books read in a month is 17, and that was with almost constant reading. The parameters of this challenge will depend on you. Will audiobooks count? Do you plan to read any thicker books, or will you stick to light fluffy reads or middle grade? Do graphic novels count? Again, this is up to you. Personally, for my purposes, I wouldn't count graphic novels because for me, that would be too easy. I can read 3 of those in a day. That would just be me though. How many constraints you want to place on yourself comes down to how much of a challenge you're seeking. If you want to read fast, you'll want to have plenty of free time. Ideally, this challenge should be done while you have time off. Though don't let books come at the expense of going out or touring somewhere new. If you know you plan to hang out at a beach for a week, maybe lounging on a strip of sand in Hawaii, now would be the time to challenge yourself. Many swear that Kindle allows them to read faster. And if you need to take a plane ride, your Kindle can prevent you from having to pack a pile of books. Moreover, the types of books you read can make this challenge easier. It's easy to breeze through a series like Percy Jackson. And if middle grade isn't your thing, series like Bridgerton can do the trick. Genres like romance, middle grade, or cozy mystery are meant to be enjoyed in an afternoon. They're still books, so you're not cheating, but these books can be easily read in a day. You might even knock out 2. For my part, I managed to read the Selection series in a weekend. Were I to do this challenge, I'd concentrate on YA, romance, and books that are otherwise addicting and straightforward. Completing this challenge will not only give you bragging rights, but endless video ideas if you're a content creator. In addition to reviewing the 30 books themselves, you'll be able to list your top 5, discuss which was your favorite, do a rapid fire listing all the books you read with a quick opinion, and so on. The ideas are endless. As a quick aside, be sure to hit the like button if you've enjoyed this video so far. The third challenge on this list is to read 100 books in a year. Among all the challenges on this list, this is one I've actually done. Again, it's self-explanatory. You have to read 100 books in a year. This can be daunting, but I'd consider it easier than the 30 books a month challenge. Obviously, how difficult this challenge is will depend on several factors. If reading is your only hobby, or your primary source of entertainment, you'll already be ahead. Being someone who reads excessively as it is, I don't have to reorder my life to accommodate this challenge. In 2022, I read 80 books, and that was without trying. On the other hand, if you're someone who sinks hours into video games, binges series on Netflix every other night, or someone who is just busy, either with other hobbies or commitments, then an actual lifestyle change might be required. Reading speed is also a factor. While I have relatively low commitments, being without children or a relationship, I still have daily chores. As a pet sitter, I need to provide walks and care, as well as maintenance of the homes I'm staying in. As a YouTuber, I have to write scripts, record, gather images, and edit videos like the one you're watching now. I also have a goal to write at least 1 chapter a day of my novel. Though I have free time, I still have lots to do. The point being that, with the responsibilities I have, I've managed to keep up with the challenge. But I'm a fast reader who's been devouring books since grade school. If you've never been more than a casual reader, adjust according to your reading history. Some people challenge themselves to read 25 books in a year, or 50 books, or 12. If you've already read 100 books, and you're one of those people fortunate enough to make a living from talking about books, reviewing arcs, or releasing videos, then you might challenge yourself to read 200 books. Just keep in mind that just because you can read 100 books doesn't mean you should. I'm glad I did the challenge, but I don't know that I'd do it again. something I'll address in another video. The final challenge on this list is the 24-hour reading challenge. This challenge, in my opinion, is arguably one of the most grueling on this list, and it's the one I'm terrified to try. The 24-hour reading challenge is simple but arduous. In order to complete it, you must read for a whole day. This is literal too. I don't mean reading all day, which plenty of us have done. No, you have to read for 24 hours straight. As such, you'll not only be required to read through the morning and afternoon, but to pull an all-nighter. I don't need to explain why this challenge would be hard. It certainly doesn't sound healthy, and it's hard to say how enjoyable it would be towards the end. I don't need to spell out that being sleep-deprived sucks, and trying to read in such a state sounds kind of masochistic. All that said, people like their bragging rights, and many like to post videos of themselves completing the challenge, either as a sped-up vlog, a montage of moments, or as a live stream. Some will vlog about the experience afterwards, describing how it felt to have their brains turned to jelly. What I would recommend for anyone doing this challenge is to do it with a friend. Make an occasion out of it. Invite your friend over for a weekend-long slumber party. Hit the books on Saturday and then have a lie-in on Sunday. All-nighters never feel great, unless you're doing them with others, and it might not hurt if you're an adult to throw in some drinks, though keep in mind that alcohol can also make you more sleepy. At any rate, in addition to a buddy or two, you should have water and snacks on hand, as well as knowing what books you want to read. You don't want to be stuck trying to choose a book, especially if your brain isn't functioning fully. So make all decisions beforehand. Many give themselves alternatives, so they can change books according to a shifting mood. Given how this challenge will affect you, I'd personally recommend choosing books you've already read for the latter half, if for the author's sake. As you come into the last hours of the challenge, your brain isn't going to be at peak performance. At this point, you might be skimming. You won't be absorbing the story as well, and that feels like a disservice to the writer you're reading. If you're not actually enjoying what they've done, it's kind of a waste. I once chose to read the Aragon series for a school journaling project. Unfortunately, being a procrastinating teen, I put myself in a position where I had to read the last book in an all-nighter. I can't tell you a single thing that happened in that book, despite remembering what happened in the previous books. I did an essay on the story as part of my journal, but the last novel is still a blank to me. I actually feel like I let the author down on some level, because I didn't enjoy his work as I should have. As such, go easy on your brain. During the last third, it won't be able to absorb things, so do a reread of Harry Potter or Twilight, and lose yourself in something that doesn't require you to think too much. If you've spent enough time online, you've probably come across these challenges. The trials readers have devised for themselves have several benefits. Among them, the encouragement to read more widely, and to share one's bookish journey with friends. Some challenges are harder than others, and all will require the bookworm in question to have a decent amount of free time. For some, these challenges may demand a lifestyle change, while for others, there'll be a minimal trial which provides bragging rights upon completion. Whichever of the 4 challenges you choose to do, keep in mind that all should be for fun. We all love to boast of our accomplishments, and completing a challenge can enable you to create plenty of social media content. But don't make the challenge a chore or requirement. Keep it light and recognize when tackling one of these won't be feasible. The goal in the end is to have fun. Plus, it's worth noting that some of these challenges can have their downside. While I, for the most part, support reading challenges and anything that encourages people to read more, there are some caveats, particularly when it comes to the 100 books a year challenge. Many have questioned if some of these challenges haven't gone too far. With concerns that reading is being treated like a sport, there are fears that reading just to read more can have its disadvantages, which I address in the video on the left, where I go over the problems with reading 100 books in a year. Thanks for watching, and happy reading!